Eternia Collectables. Right, what we're going to do is the countdown of the Eaglemoss Military Watch Collection, if anyone collected this. First we have Issue 1, US Army Field Watch. Issue 2, the Luftwaffe Aviation Watch. Issue 3, the Sas Commander Watch. Issue 4, the Russian Military Watch. Issue 5 was the Italian Diver Watch of the 40s. Issue 6 was the French Seaman Watch of the 60s. Issue 7 was the Australian Naval Diver Watch of the 60s. Issue 9 was the Japanese Airman Watch of the 40s. Issue 10 was the British RAF Army Watch. Issue 11 was the French Foreign Legionnaire Watch of the 50s. Issue 12 was the British Paratrooper Watch of the 40s. Issue 13 was the German Naval Commander Watch of the 60s. Issue 14 was the Israeli Naval Commander Watch of the 60s. Royal Air Force Pilot of the 50s, Issue 15. Issue 16 was the Russian Airman's Watch of the 50s. Issue 17 was the French Seaman Watch of the 40s. Issue 18 was the Egyptian Naval Commander Watch of the 50s. Issue 19 was the US Navy Diver Watch of the 70s. Issue 20 was the Brazilian Soldier Watch of the 60s. Issue 21 was the French Naval Diver Watch of the 80s. Issue 22 was the Japanese Soldier Watch of the 40s. Issue 23 was the Australian Soldier Watch of the 70s. Issue 24 was the German Naval Officer Watch of the 40s. Issue 25 was the Portuguese Soldier's Watch of the 60s. Issue 26 was the French Pilot's Watch of the 50s. Issue 27, the American Soldier's Watch of the 1910s. British Naval Diver's Watch of the 1980s. Issue 29 was the Indian Soldier's Watch of the 1970s. Issue 30 was the Chinese Pilot's Watch of the 60s. Issue 31 was the French Pilot's Watch of the 1940s. Issue 30, the Canadian Pilot's Watch of the 40s. Issue 33, the British RAF 1940s Watch. Czechoslovakian Soldier's Watch of the 40s. Issue 35, the American Seaman's Watch of the 40s. Issue 36 was the French Naval Pilot's Watch of the 60s. Issue 37, the Russian Pilot's Watch of the 80s. Issue 38, the British Soldier's Watch of the 40s. Issue 39 was the German Soldier's Watch of the 40s. Issue 40 was the French Soldier's Watch of the 70s. Issue 41, the British Naval Officer's Watch of the 30s. Issue 42, the Swedish Soldier's Watch of the 50s. Issue 43, Italian Air Force Watch 1960s. Issue 44 was the British Soldier's Watch of the 40s. Issue 45, the German Defence Force Watch of the 80s. Issue 46, the Japanese Army Watch of the 30s. Issue 47, the Royal Air Force Watch of the 80s. Issue 48, the Russian Naval Divers Watch of the 50s. Issue 49, the Italian Army Officers Watch of the 20s. Issue 50, the South African Soldier's Watch of the 70s. Issue 51, the British Pilot's Watch 1940s. Issue 52, the German Luftwaffe Pilot's Watch of the 60s. Issue 53 is the French Soldier's Watch of the 40s. Issue 54, the British Army Watch of the 40s. Issue 55, the Canadian Navigators Watch of the 80s. Issue 56, the Red Army Officer Soviet Union Watch of the 40s. Issue 59, the Australian Seaman's Watch of the 80s. Issue 58, the British Pilot's Watch of the 1950s. Issue 59, the American Pilot's Watch of the 60s. Issue 60, the German Waffen SAS Watch, British Soldier's Watch 1970s, Issue 61. Issue 62 was the Japanese Pilot's Watch of the 30s. Issue 63 is the South African Pilot's Watch of the 1950s. Czechoslovakian Pilot's Watch of the 1940s. Issue 65, the American Airman 1950s watch. Issue 66, the German Airman 1970s watch. Issue 67 is the American Soldier's Watch 1920s. British Airman's Watch 1980s, issue 68. Dutch Soldier's Watch 1940s, issue 69. German Airman's Watch 1930s, issue 70. Issue 71, the Canadian Airman's Watch 1960s. Issue 72, the German Sailor's Watch of the 1940s. US Army Pilot's Watch of the 1930s, issue 73. Issue 74, the British Nurse's Watch of the 1910s. British Naval Artilleryman's Watch 1940s, issue 76, the American Airman's Watch of the 1940s. German Army Woman's Auxiliary Watch of the 1940s, issue 78, the British Soldier's Watch of the 1910s. Issue 79, the British Prisoner of War Watch 1940s. Issue 80, the American Airman's Watch of the 1940s. British Submariner's Watch of the 1960s, issue 81. Issue 82, US Airman's Watch 1940s. Issue 83 is the Swedish Airman's Watch of the 1970s. Issue 84 is the Luftwaffe Paratrooper's Watch of the 1940s. Issue 85 is the Chinese Army Officer's Watch of the 1970s. Soviet Airman's Watch of the 1950s. Issue 86. Issue 87 is the American Soldier's Watch 1970s. Issue 88 is the American Naval Officer's Watch. Swedish Soldier's Watch 1960s, issue 89. Issue 90 is the French Naval Diver's Watch of 1950s. Issue 91 is the American Woman's Air Force Service Watch of the 40s. Russian Cosmonaut's Watch of the 1960s. French Artillery Pocket Watch of the 1950s. Australian Officer's Watch Special Edition. British Naval Diver's Watch of the 1940s Special Edition. Soviet Air Force 1980s Special Edition Watch. Royal Flying Corps Watch of 1910 Special Edition. Australian Combat Divers Watch Special Edition. American Astronaut 1990 Special Edition. And the French Air Force Pilot Special Edition 50s. Thanks for watching, and sorry I lost track somewhere in between. Please like, comment, subscribe. Hope it helped you. Bye bye.